Let's transition to the NFL. Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers, as Aaron Rodgers announced last week on the Pat McAfee show that he intends to play for the New York Jets this upcoming season. Teams still have not come to a trade agreement. And so I've been listening to different shows over the last couple of days. And obviously Aaron Rodgers, going on the Pat McAfee show, he announced he wants to play for the Jets. And for me, when I break down and talk about which team has the most leverage, whether it's the Jets or the Packers, and I'm not saying this because I'm a Packers fan, but I believe this with my heart. The Packers have all the leverage. And let me explain why. The number one reason why the Green Bay Packers have all the leverage is because the Jets already lost out on Derek Carr. Derek Carr went and signed with the New Orleans Saints. They already lost out on Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy G went and signed a new deal with the Las Vegas Raiders. And other quarterbacks like, Sam Darnold, he's now with the San Francisco 49ers. There's no one left. There's no one left for the Jets to go after but Aaron Rodgers. They've ran out of options. And the only option that they have left is Zach Wilson. Let me read everyone Zach Wilson's numbers last year. Zach Wilson last year, the starting quarterback for the New York Jets in his sophomore season. 6 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 1,688 passing yards. The man completed 55% of his passes last season. It was so bad for Zach Wilson last year that Robert Saleh benched Zach Wilson for Mike White. It was literally players in that locker room for the Jets that applauded Robert Saleh for making a move and benching Zach Wilson. That's how bad it was last year for Zach Wilson. He was pathetic. And Mike White came in. He didn't do great, but anything that was a plus besides Zach Wilson was a plus for the New York Jets at the quarterback position. Anyone not named Zach Wilson was a plus. Even Joe Flacco last year had some moments, more so than Zach Wilson. But Mike White is gone. He's no longer in New York. So I believe one of the reasons why the Packers have more leverage than the Jets is because the Jets don't have a quarterback. It is players that are on the Jets, that are on the offensive side of the ball, who are begging on social media, literally begging for Aaron Rodgers to come to the Big Apple and play with the New York Jets because they don't believe in Zach Wilson. And Zach Wilson, even in his rookie season, he struggled. 9 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. He did have more passing yards in his rookie season compared to his sophomore season. But he has not been very good so far in his career. Meanwhile, the Packers already have a quarterback in Jordan Love. Now, Jordan Love is not proven, but the Packers are ready to move on from Aaron Rodgers because they have Jordan Love. So let's just say that the Packers and the Jets can't come to an agreement. And Aaron Rodgers has to stay on the Packers. This is the worst case scenario for both parties because obviously it would be a toxic relationship between Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, but that's nothing new. It's been toxic between Aaron Rodgers and the Packers since they drafted Jordan Love. But let's just say that Aaron Rodgers had to return back to Green Bay for this season. The Packers have 2 quarterbacks on their roster, in Jordan Love and in Aaron Rodgers. The Jets got Zach Wilson, which means you don't have a quarterback. You don't have a quarterback. And in the AFC, if you want to be a true contender, You got to have an elite quarterback to compete. The Bills got Josh Allen. The Bengals got Joe Burrow. The Ravens got Lamar Jackson, despite their toxic relationship. The Chiefs got Patrick Mahomes. You ain't competing for a playoff spot with Zach Wilson. You can forget about a Super Bowl, but you damn sure ain't competing even for a playoff spot. Dare I say, if Zach Wilson is your quarterback, you may not even be better than the New England Patriots. You might not be better than the New England Patriots. So I think the Packers have more leverage than the Jets because the Jets' only option at quarterback right now is Zach Wilson. Also, another reason why the Packers have more leverage than the Jets and why they're not in a rush to get this deal done is because I believe after June 1st, it's going to be cheaper for the Packers to trade Aaron Rodgers at that point than it would be now. So the Packers are not in a rush to trade Aaron Rodgers. They're ready to kick their feet up and relax. We ain't got nothing but time. And I always say, like, if you're trying to sell something, and even if what you're trying to sell, you having trouble with it, if you only have one suitor, then you also have the leverage as a seller because no one else is trying to buy your product but that one person. It's only one team that's interested in Aaron Rodgers, and that has nothing to do with his ability. We know Aaron Rodgers is a top 10 quarterback at worst, even after the worst statistical season of his career. Aaron Rodgers is still a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. But one of the main reasons why there's no more teams that's lining up to trade for Aaron Rodgers' services is because Aaron Rodgers is not committed. Aaron Rodgers is only really committed to this one season. So the Packers know it's only the Jets who we're negotiating with. So we don't have to rush to make a deal. No one else is lining up to get Aaron Rodgers' services. So dare I say Aaron Rodgers and him being non-committal is lowering his value. It's lowering his value. We know how great he is as a quarterback. And that's actually what leads me to the next thing that I want to talk about. As great as Aaron Rodgers is, and Aaron Rodgers won back-to-back NFL MVP awards in 2020 and in 2021. In 2020, the man had 48 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. In 2021, he had 37 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. One of the most efficient quarterbacks in NFL history, 4-time NFL MVP, won an NFL Super Bowl MVP. But Aaron Rodgers is not being valued because he's not committed beyond this season. If Aaron Rodgers was as committed as Tom Brady was in the end of his career, do you really believe that it would only be one team that would be interested in his services? Really, seriously, like think about that for a second. If Aaron Rodgers came out and said, I'm here to play, I'm playing football, and I'm going to be playing for a while. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. There's a bunch of teams who I could think of that will be interested in his services. I tell you one thing, the Las Vegas Raiders damn sure would have been on the phone with the Packers, and they would not have signed Jimmy Garoppolo if Aaron Rodgers was committed beyond this season. So I believe that because the Packers are only negotiating with the Jets, and the Jets are the only team that's interested in Aaron Rodgers' services, and considering the fact also that the Packers have time and already have Jordan Love on their roster as their quarterback, and the Jets got Zach Wilson, I believe, considering those two factors, the Packers have more leverage than the Jets. Jets got Zach Wilson if Aaron Rodgers doesn't come to the Big Apple. The Packers got Jordan Love And also, the Jets are the only team that's interested in Aaron Rodgers' services, which means the Packers have more leverage. The Jets are desperate here. They are desperate, and they're talking about they don't know if they want to give up a first round draft pick. They talk about we don't know if we want to give up a first round draft pick for Aaron Rodgers. Think about this for a second. Since 2012, the Jets have the 5th most starting quarterbacks since 2012. Only the Browns, Texans, Commanders, and Bears have had more starting quarterbacks than the New York Jets. Also, who has the longest playoff drought in the NFL? That would be the New York Jets. The Jets haven't made the playoffs in 12 seasons. The last time the Jets made the playoffs was in 2010. That's also the last time that Aaron Rodgers went to his one and only Super Bowl. And the Jets ain't been to a Super Bowl since 1968. And they up here talking about not giving up a first-round draft pick. Are you kidding me? For Aaron Rodgers? You damn well better give up a first-round draft pick if you want to contend for the playoffs this year. If you want to contend for the playoffs, the Jets and Woody Johnson, the owner for the Jets, Robert Saleh, Nathaniel Hackett, all of you went out there to try to recruit Aaron Rodgers to New York. You better get on the phone with Brian Gutekunst and with Mark Murphy and say, we'll give you whatever you need. We'll give you whatever you need. You want a first-round pick? We'll give you a first-round pick. Hell, the Panthers just traded multiple draft picks and DJ Moore to the Bears for the number 1 overall pick in this year's NFL draft because they want to select either C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young. That's how valuable a quarterback is. And in the AFC, you got to have an elite quarterback. You just can't have anybody at quarterback when you look at the team that the Jets have. I mean, look at the Jets' offensive skill position players. They got Garrett Wilson, the offensive rookie of the year. They got Elijah Moore. They got Corey Davis. They got Breece Hall, who had a great season before his season-ending injury. They got C.J. Uzomah as well. They got to get better on the offensive line, but defensively, you got Sauce Gardner. You got Quentin Williams as well. You got C.J. Mosley as well. So the Jets have a great, I wouldn't say great. Let me be let me be straightforward with the wording here. They have a good team. Not great, but they're good. The Jets are good. C.J. Mosley at linebacker, Carl Lawson up front, Solomon Thomas, and Quentin Williams was balling last year. He was balling. They traded for Chuck Clark as well. So, you want to be contenders in the AFC, you're damn sure better give up a first-round pick for Aaron Rodgers. And don't play hardball with the Packers. Don't play hardball with the Packers. Give the Packers what they want. Yes, this is the Packer fans telling the Jets, give us what we want. Yes, Aaron Rodgers is toxic, but we know what he's worth. First ballot Hall of Famer. Everybody go and follow Wise Guys on Twitter at WiseGuys_H. Also on Facebook, Wise Guys. And be sure to follow Wise Guys on Instagram at These Guys Know Sports.